5 crashes involving 17 vehicles in just a few hours.
Never seen nothing like this.
Big rigs up in flames. 3 people dead.
I'm amazed that some of the people walked away from this.
A deadly combination of smoke and fog coming out of nowhere, bringing visibility to 0.
Everything just went white. You couldn't see nothing.
And the cleanup continues tonight on I-95 near New Smyrna Beach. We're approaching 22 hours since a super fog disaster struck on the highway. From fire this morning to smoldering twisted metal this afternoon. And now interstate repairs are underway. Lanes in both directions are still closed tonight.
And Luann, you can see why. This is the view from our Skyfox drone of the damage left behind on the interstate. Yeah, these tractor trailers burned out. There's another car right there that's really completely gone. We do have live team coverage tonight. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner is breaking down the conditions that caused this disaster. But we begin with Fox 35's Connor Hansen. He's live near the New Smyrna Beach exit. And Connor, this isn't the first time a massive pileup like this has happened in our area.
No, it's not, John. And just to give you an update, both lanes still are closed here on I-95. Now, officials with the FHP did tell us earlier they hope to have both lanes open by midnight. But let me give you a look at what's going on right now. Crews still out here remilling the pavement on the highway. That's the northbound lane. It looks like it could be a while before they're wrapped up here. Now, scenes from this morning reminiscent of a deadly crash 10 years ago that happened because of the fog.
Thick fog difficult to distinguish from smoke from burning trucks mangled after this 17-car pileup. 3 people were killed. The fog being blamed for drivers having little to no visibility in the morning. The site is eerily similar to another deadly pileup 10 years ago. In 2012, 11 people were killed in crashes when thick fog combined with smoke on I-75 near Gainesville. Something survivors of that crash will never forget.
Just the sound of the cars hitting each other and those type of things. I mean, that's stuff that lives with you for a lifetime.
Stephen Camp says he was lucky to only have minor injuries a decade ago. Several lawsuits were filed after those crashes. Georgia attorney Drew Ashby represented one of the victims and sued the state for not keeping the highway closed.
To the best of my memory and to the best of my knowledge, no changes have been made in any policy since then. I certainly hope people learn lessons about when to close the highway and when to keep it open.
Since people did die in the crash this morning, attorney Drew Ashby tells us there will likely be many lawsuits coming soon. Reporting live in Volusia County, Connor Hansen, Fox 35 News.
Connor, thank you. And there have been 8 major crashes here in Central Florida caused by super fog since 2000. Back in 2008, 5 people were killed in a 70-vehicle pileup on I-4 in Polk County. Then 4 years later, the crash Connor was just talking about that happened near Gainesville. 19 vehicles involved there, 11 people killed. And then back in 2018, super fog caused this 17-vehicle pileup on State Road 520 in Orange County. That crash injured 8 people. Fox 35 asking the Florida Highway Patrol why I-95 was not closed earlier last night when that fog started rolling in. FHP says just 1 trooper was working all of Volusia County at that time. That trooper was actually working a separate crash further north when the pileup happened on I-95. FHP is investigating whether they missed an alert about a prescribed burn in that area, which made the fog even worse.
Right now, we have not been able to find where we were told, but we are still double checking all of our calls to make sure we didn't miss a call.
FHP says it also relies on drivers to notify them of unexpected conditions.
And Skyfox shows us just how dense that fog was this morning. Look at this, that blanket way down low right there on the ground. Drivers say they couldn't even see their hands in front of their faces. And you've heard Fox 35 use the term super fog all day. That is a combination of smoke and fog, but it's deeper than that. It also has to do with what was burning and what was in the air at the time. And our team coverage continues with Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner. So super fog is an actual scientific term, but there's some conditions conditions there were also in play.
Right. Normal fog is water vapor that reaches its condensation point. The temperature drops. It precipitates out of the water, becoming visible, right, when typically it's evaporated in. With super fog, you get smoke that gets involved with it. The smoke particles have condensation nuclei, John, and what those do is allow the water vapor to stick to it even more thickly, and it becomes absolutely impenetrable. You can't see more than 10 feet out in front of you. So the tragic super fog event last night happened like this. There was a prescribed burn near the Edgewater area and a light east wind that blew that smoke toward the west. At the point at which this super fog event happened, the fire itself had basically gone out, but there was still some smoldering, and the smoke had laid down for the night. That fire location again near the Edgewater area. The winds blowing the fog and the smoke now right over I-95, and as we hit daybreak, fog formed, and when it interacted with that smoke, it was just like that, a snap and super fog. Natural fog plus an inversion that trapped all that at the low levels, and you had that tragic result. Now, tonight, I'm looking ahead to the possibility of more fog developing. I'll have that in your full forecast just minutes from now, but I'll tell you this, the possibility of fog forming is significantly lower tonight, but there are still a couple of areas of concern and a couple of prescribed burns that we're watching very carefully that may interact with that fog.